Hey, turkeys, I'm Paul. This is Maul.
Hello.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm Dan. This is Margie. We're the Gen-Xers. How y'all doing? What the
The-
hell you doing?
I think they're doing good. I think I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We have our Little House in the Prairie extravaganza this week, like we promised last week. So, been a lot of studying up on Little House.
Mm-hmm.
Got Little House on the brain. Been looking at theories, conspiracies, dissections, theses, papers,
Data.
all of it. Metadata,
Yeah.
asking ChatGPT,
Right.
asking palm readers, everything about Little House on the Prairie. I've done it.
That's right. Churned your own butter.
How's your week been?
It's been pretty good.
We have been churning some butter. I'm churning some right now.
You're soaking in it.
Don't want to wake up tomorrow with no butter.
That's right. No, we had a good week. We did look at Little House on the Prairie, but we did some other things as well, including go to a great concert, the Outlaw Music Concert.
That's right.
Nathaniel Ratliff,
Mm-hmm.
Rateliff, sorry, not Ratliff, Rateliff, Willie Nelson.
That's right. And country music legend Bob Dylan.
There you go. Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
I thought it was good. I thought the concert itself was good. I thought it was a little no nonsense. Like Willie and Bob, they had a job to do and they were there to do it. There was very little chit chat in between songs, but they did sing well. I think Willie looked a little bit tired, but when you're 132 years old, it's okay if you look a little bit tired.
He might have been a little sick. He was blowing into a handkerchief a lot, like he might have had a cold or something. But yeah, his voice was a little weaker.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. But the concert itself was good. The venue kind of gouged us a little bit for prices, just a tad.
More than a tad, maybe, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. Last year, but this was the same concert venue, by the way, if you look back at our old tapes, and we hope you guys do, especially if you're new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit like and subscribe, won't you? But last year we went to this same venue to see Hootie and the Blowfish, and you can see our review here. At that time, we had parking. Parking was free, and I'll tell you why. Because the parking lot is crumbling, giant potholes, no security, no lighting, no cover from the weather, nothing. Absolutely free parking. And you got to walk across like 3-4 football field lengths to get to your car, no matter where you're parked, right? Absolutely free. This year, that same parking lot, still no cover, no lights, no security, nothing, potholes, giant, falling on your way to the venue. $25 for parking there. We bought a lemonade, about, I don't know, 24 ounce lemonade.
You're being generous.
Okay.
Well,
We bought a lemonade. 24 ounces, about yay. It was endless. It was bottomless. You could go get refills, but that sucker cost $16.
And who wants to get up from their concert enough times to refill their lemonade to make it worth $16?
We tried.
We did try.
We gave it our all. We were like, drink more lemonade. By God. But we tried, but we didn't quite make it. We did not quite pay for that $16 lemonade. And my poor stepfather, who likes to have a beer every now and again, and especially when he's listening to Willie Nelson at a concert, $21.30 stand for a single beer.
Yeah,
There.
I know. If I don't drink anymore, but back in my drinking days, it would have cost me $310 to catch a buzz.
He had to practically take out a
Yeah,
personal
that was
loan.
for a can of beer.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, we really liked the concert, and I loved taking my mom and my stepdad. It's always great to take them places. But I told Dan, this is probably the last time we're going to be visiting this venue with these price gouging practices. We got the tickets for cheap, but now we know. Now we know why.
It was a good concert, though. I mean, Nathaniel Rateliff was good. Although this was kind of Father's Day present for me and your father-in-law. Nathaniel Rateliff gave this huge speech on how great mothers are 2 days after Father's Day. Not a word to be said about dads. Nothing. More on that later, though. I've got a little op-ed on this on dads later.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was good.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan did his best. Tom Waits, he did some like bluesy piano stuff, and it was good. He didn't do most of his classics. He did do All Along the Watchtower and It Ain't Me, Babe, maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a bunch of Tom Waits songs, I think. And then, yeah, we talked about Willie, who's always great. We love him, but he did seem maybe a little bit under the weather or something.
He did. He did. But, everybody did a great job. And we had fun, despite the fact that we had to take out a personal loan to pay for everything at the concert venue. Yeah, it was great. And like I said, I loved bringing my mom and my stepdad. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Little House on the Prairie this week, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for it after all your research, your journey to get into the mind, heart, and soul of Little House on the Prairie? Laura Ingalls Wilder wrote these books about her life as a pioneer woman, growing up in a pioneer family. She and Ma and Pa and her sister Mary and her sister Carrie all traveled from the East Coast, and I believe it was New York State, and they traveled across the United States and were settling in the West. And that's basically what the series was all about. And so it tells you everything they did. We woke up, we built a barn. We woke up, we churned some butter. It's all about what they did during their day. So it can actually be used as a how-to, but it's a little bit more interesting than that because it also talks about her life. So Laura was a writer for the Missouri Ruralist. She did a column in that paper when she lived in Missouri. Then she did some columns in the Saturday Evening Post, and she was telling these nostalgic tales about her childhood. And that became the Little House on the Little House on the Prairie series, which she published in 1932, starting with the first book, Little House in the Big Woods. I remember this series. I'm sure you remember. You talked about how your sister loved those books, and she had gotten those books when she was young.
I remember her getting them for Christmas and it being a big deal, her being super excited about it. I never got it. I tried to read the 3-book trilogy on blowing up a pig bladder, but
yeah, it didn't capture you like it captured.
No, I'm afraid not. But I know people. I know they're beloved. Don't come at me, Little House lovers.
Yeah, no, they were very beloved. So I too received the whole series for Christmas one year, and it was a great Christmas for me. When Laura Ingalls published these books, like I said, she started with Little House in the Big Woods. She then published a total of 8 books in the series, and then a 9th one was published after her death. And so those 9 books kind of make up the whole series. Although there's a ton of books that have been published since then that kind of, that add to the Little House story. So there's like cookbooks, there's picture books that show her real pictures of her farm and her settlement and her family and her husband and her daughter and all that stuff. A whole bunch of stuff. There's like arts and crafts books that are based on Little House on the Prairie. But, these books were a big deal for quite a bit. And then Ed Friendly came in the late 70s, and he's the dude who did Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, if you remember that show. He was a producer. And he bought the rights to the Little House books because he was like, this would make a good TV series. And he was right. And what he did was as soon as he bought the rights, he approached Michael Landon, who had starred in Bonanza, who had written and directed for Bonanza, and said, do you want to come write and direct for Little House on the Prairie? And Michael Landon said, sure, but can I be Pa Ingalls? And they said, sure, come on over. You can be Paul Ingalls. Michael Landon was in it. Karen Grassley was Ma Ingalls. Melissa Gilbert was the quintessential Laura Ingalls, half pint herself. And Allison Arngren was the quintessential Nellie Olson, she was kind of the mean girl, as mean as it gets in Little House on the Prairie, which is not very mean at all. But yeah, that was the books. The TV series, came from that. Very popular TV series. And it was widely touted as quality program for families. It wound up on a lot of lists of the best programming for families, and a lot of great episodes came from it, including the I'll Be Watching You As You Drive Away episodes 1 and 2, which have been listed as one of the best TV episodes of all time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to review one of the episodes here. The very first episode, not the pilot, which is a little bit different in tone, but A Harvest of Friends. We're just going to kind of get into it here. They first move into Walnut Grove. It's their first day. Mm-hmm. People in Walnut Grove, surprisingly suspicious.
A little bit of an untrusting lot, I think.
Yeah, everybody's looking at Paul with kind of the side eye. No one's really wanting to help him out too awful much. But finally, Mr. Hanson at the mill does. He says, hey, I'll give you these 2 oxen. You can work it off. So that's one thing Paul needs to start his new life.
Right. Because they're having to build their home and homestead and all that stuff. He's got to get some oxen.
That's right. And
so check. Got the oxen.
He also needs seed and a plow, which he's going to get from O'Neill, the guy in town who runs, what does he run? Is it the granary? I don't know.
No, that's when he's working for...
well, it don't matter.
Yeah, he's working for some wood and blah, blah, blah.
He's basically the Mr. Potter of the town. Kind of like It's a Wonderful Life. He's got a lot of money, and he will take advantage of you if he gets his chance. He's not as trusting as Hanson. He makes Paul sign a contract. If you don't get this done in a certain amount of time, I'm taking those nice ox you just got. And not only do you have to put the roof on this place, for this plow and these seeds, you've got to stack up this grain. There's a lot of shots of this grain. It's foreshadowing, I'll just tell you right now. But so, yeah, that's the deal. Paul agrees to it. I mean, this guy ends up being the villain, but in his defense, he explicitly states the rules of this agreement to Paul. Very clearly. Emphasizes that if something bad happens, I'm sticking to this contract. Paul's like, yeah, fine.
Got it.
We'll do it.
That's
I'm
right.
Paul. Nothing can stop me.
That's right. You can consider that contract met. All right.
And this plow, Margaret, Paul looks at it covetously, with jealousy. He needs it, right? He covets this plow. Here's the reoccurring theme. Paul's going to use this thing like twice. Never again. We'll also introduce to the Olsons.
You have Mr. Olson, who's just a friendly, open, kind of easygoing dude. He owns the shop in town, right? He owns the general store. And then his wife, Mrs. Olson, who's conniving, who's sneaking, who is jealous, who wants to catch up with the Joneses, right? That's her character. She's always trying to get a little bit more. She's a little bit, bit underhanded. So yeah, we meet the Olsons, and we always like the Olsons.
And Paul tries to get some credit from them, too. He's really building up some debt here, trying to get started in Walnut Grove. They don't give it to him, of course. Mrs. Olson's never going to give credit to anybody. But Mr. Olson explains it to him like Charles is an idiot. Like he's literally 5. He's like, well, there's a reason we can't loan you the money, see? Because we need money to pay for stuff we have to pay for.
And if we loan it to you, you may not give it back.
There is a reason. You see, we need the money to buy the things we need to keep in business.
We do see him walk into town with his shirt unbuttoned about to here, sweat drenching, carrying this big, heavy-ass wooden toolbox.
Right.
He's got a horse at home, Marge, don't he?
He's got a couple horses at home, yeah.
Why
yeah,
is he walking to town like this to work 50 hours and then walk back?
Because he's a man, Dan.
That's right. Charles, gosh darn Ingalls, bud. At this point, we're introduced to the doctor. I guess it's kind of a plot device. He has to stop and help Doc Baker get his wheel on. And Doc Baker's like, I guess that's what I get for not soaking the wheel and doing this and doing that. Some kind of technical crap everyone knew back then. And Paul's like, ha ha! It's happened to all of us. Drives him into town. We meet his best friend. We find out, I guess, Doc Baker and Mr. Hanson are best friends. They banter back and forth, Margaret, in humor so gentle, it's almost like it's not there.
Are you old Billy Goat? You can't even blow a whistle on time.
And then we get a scene a little while later where Paul's worked himself so much he oversleeps at church. And Reverend Alden is mad as all get out. He calls it outright in front of the church. I see wives here whose husbands ain't. Ma defends him on the way home. Hey, he's just tired. Sundays for rest at church. He's resting. But she gets there, and there's Paul with his new plow again. She's madder than a wet hen.
Yeah, she tells him, you need to go rest. You're working 15 jobs and got credit all over this town.
At some point, we find out the reason he's working so hard, something happened in Kansas. He's like, whatever happened in Kansas, gonna happen again. We don't find out why.
Apparently what happens in Kansas stays in Kansas.
Yeah, because we never really find out. Finally, he pays off his debt with Hanson. He's about to pay it off with O'Neill, the other guy. He gets home, we find out from Ma that Paul's been a little gripey. So she's put the kids back to bed already. And he is like, I guess I did ask him to be quiet a few times last night. And she's like, 4. So she's counting.
Yeah.
How many times. Paul, who again, just to remind you, is working 23 hours a day.
And I'm starving. Woman, get my supper while I wash up.
Get your supper. 4.
I'm sorry. Why don't you get my supper?
Welcome home.
Get my supper.
So he decides next day he's going to take them to a picnic, right? They're going to go kite flying and all this. Everybody's amazed Paul can fly a kite.
Yeah.
Not once does he offer to let those kids fly that kite.
Oh, look at that. Ooh, look at all these tricks I'm doing with this kite up here. And everybody's, ooh, look.
Anyway, yeah, he's out there flying the kite, gets caught in a tree. Well, Paul is going to do what Paul does. Say what you will about Paul, but he gets stuff done. He cares about his family, and there are like several scenes in here with his wife, the kids, just look at him with pure admiration. And as a father who's used to watching modern day TV, I almost died of shock when someone looked at their father with admiration on television. He climbs the tree. He falls out from about 50 stories, breaks 4 ribs. And here's where the first tears come in, I believe. When Maul runs over there. So about halfway through the first episode, the first crying comes, but there's plenty more. There'll be plenty more.
Oh, yeah.
The doctor comes. He's got 4 broken ribs, Marge. How long do you think that takes to heal up?
About a day or 2, probably, at least.
Well, according to Doc Baker, he said a week.
A week.
That seems short to me. I don't know. I didn't Google this or nothing, but...
I don't know, yeah.
For 4 broken ribs, I'd think I'd probably be able to, I'd milk it. Maul says, I got to go out there and plow this field while your ribs are hurt. Paul kind of protests. He's like, no, you can't do that. And so she, quite vindictively, to be honest, there's some anger in her when she says this, because I think she's getting a glimpse of the future. She uses the same excuse he used on her earlier. If God understands farmer, he understands farmers' wives. I got to get up there and plow this field. She walks out, slams the door. This big smile crosses Paul's face. Why? Because she's up there doing his work for him. This becomes a theme throughout the entire series. How many years did you say this show ran?
I don't know.
15,
70,
14, 9.
2. I don't know.
Paul never works again. After this moment, he never works again. Every episode is spent with him going in and butting into someone else's business, helping them out with some kind of problem. Mr. Edwards is alcoholic, this, that. Ma and the kids are home plowing the freaking field and whatnot.
Yeah. It's already done when he gets home.
Sure.
Yeah. He's busy fixing
no
the
wonder.
town.
He realized right then in this moment, and I'll put the clip here, when he starts to smile, that's when he realized this is life for me.
I'm the heartbeat of this town.
But anyway, O'Neill comes by while she's out there working, and he's like, I gotta take these ox. And she don't fight it too much. He takes them, whatever. So then Paul, Margie, go in there. Here he is, shirt off, all wrapped up.
Yeah, I do have to say that as soon as he hurt his back, it caused a cascade of other medical issues. Number one of which was that he had to bare his chest for the rest of the whole episode. Despite the fact that there were towels, linens, shirts, and other things to cover himself all around him. But it doesn't matter because Doc ordered, you're going to have to go shirtless.
Sure.
For the rest of this show.
But when Ma tells him about what O'Neill does, he does have to get up. Much to his dismay, he does have to put on a shirt as he
Right.
walks into town, but he doesn't button it much.
No.
Cursory button.
I
Here
got
and
stuff
there.
to do.
And even now, Margie, do you think he rides that old horse into town? With 4 broken ribs and limping and barely crawling by?
No, he walks in like this.
Not Paul M.F. and Ingalls. He walks his ass into town. Proud man. Now, look, I sound like I'm mocking, but that's a good thing. I mean, he is a good man. Paul is just trying to take care of his family and
That's
let
right.
what happens at Kansas not happen again. Is he a little dramatic about it? Sure, he's Paul Ingalls. O'Neill's not going to let him out of the contract, so Paul's like, I'm going to stack up this grain.
I'm going to stack.
Believe me, this is the most harrowing scene I've ever seen. It's like when Rocky and Apollo tried to climb up the ropes in Rocky 2 to avoid the double knockout. That's Paul trying. Margaret, you want to give your impersonation? Paul
Could I
trying to put
please?
yeah.
Okay, so let me show you the hoisting of the bags. And to do that, I'm going to use this pillow, okay? So this is Paul hoisting the bags. And in no way is this ergonomic, physically correct. You're going to hurt yourself if you do it this way. So do not do this at home. But this is the hoisting of the bags. Are you ready? Is crying on the prairie.
Bravo. And so, after the last 15 minutes of the show, pretty much, Paul gets one bag to the top. And there's some camera work going on here because it shows the camera looking up, and this thing looks really 3 or 4 stories high. Yeah. And then Paul falls backwards, kapow, kapow, bounces 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
The show, Mary and what's her name over there watching, tears rolling down their face as they watch their father take this tumble. And when you see this whatever from a distance, I mean, it looks 10 feet up in the air, maybe not nearly as high as it looked like from Charles' point of view, I guess.
Right.
But they decide to come over. Can you hand me your bag of grain, hon? I will do my impersonation of this
Okay.
5 and 7-year-old girl lifting these bags because they decide to do it.
Yeah. The end.
So when the town sees these 2 girls trying to carry these bags over to Margaret, they do something that they do for Paul for the rest of the series, for the next 15 years. They do his work for him. The whole town comes over, Mr. Olsen included. O'Neill tries briefly to explain it. Hey guys, it was just a deal. No one's buying it. He slowly starts backing away. We never see him again. He's not a regular in town.
No.
I'm pretty sure they got a posse together later.
Yep.
And they either ran O'Neill out or he's in the bottom of the lake somewhere.
That's right.
And now Mr. Olsen's the richest guy in town.
Paul is crying